welcome to this visual summary of the 2014 North Carolina Scholastic Media Institute. I'm Madison Brown of Mars Area High near Pittsburgh.
And I'm Adam Jordan of Ravenscroft School in Raleigh. She's been to every institute since she started teaching in North Carolina. It seems like everyone in North Carolina education knows her, and her fame continues to stretch beyond the Tar Heel State. Jack Taylor of Providence High in Charlotte reports.
Brenda Gorsuch is an English teacher, newspaper advisor, and an award-winning yearbook advisor. The West Henderson High School teacher says she can't take all the credit for her success.
A yearbook advisor is only as good as her students. And I've been very, very fortunate to have amazing students over the last 25 or 30 years. Their enthusiasm makes me enthusiastic about my job.
Last year, Gorsuch became the first ever North Carolinian to win National Yearbook Advisor of the Year. In addition, she won the 2004 National Newspaper Advisor of the Year award, making her only the second person in the country to win both awards.
So I would say that my newspaper has benefited from the design elements and the creativity of yearbook, and my yearbook has benefited from the solid journalistic approach that we developed in the newspaper. So I think they go hand in hand.
Not only has Gorsuch earned these accolades through the years, she has also earned a higher honor, the respect of her students.
Miss She knows what she wants for sure. She's very driven and she doesn't settle for anything less of what she knows we can accomplish, which is held at a very high standard.
Miss She isn't your normal teacher. She helps me every day outside of the classroom. She's a great lady and she really inspires me, not only in journalism but in lots of other areas.
Miss G's students say she's the epitome of what a journalism advisor should be. In Chapel Hill, I'm Jack Taylor, NCSMI News.
When Brenda Gorsuch returns to West Henderson High in the fall, she'll be entering her 34th year of teaching. Now that's dedication.
Brenda Gorsuch seems to still get a rush out of the Institute, and one group of students certainly does. Catherine Serrell of West Johnston High in Benson has that story.
Doing something well is important in all aspects of life. In journalism, you also have to do it quickly. What students learn in the rush doesn't remain in the DTH newsroom. It goes beyond.
I've definitely learned how to write something in a time constraint here, and I've enjoyed working with the new people I've met here.
I will take back to my school newspaper a lot of experience of how to work under pressure and under a tight deadline, and I will also take back a lot of experience with alternate story forms besides just your typical news story or feature story.
Talk about deadline pressure. Students unite to produce something just like this in 3 days.
I will definitely take back more realistic interviewing skills because it makes me more comfortable to talk to people I don't really know instead of just interviewing friends or people I know.
And although rush staffers won't face deadlines that tight back at their school papers, the ability to turn out quality journalism under pressure will serve them well. In Chapel Hill, I'm Catherine Serrell, NCSMI News.
This is the 20-year anniversary of the Rush, so that copy at your table is a collector's edition.
3 other areas of the Institute keep students just as busy as members of the Rush staff. Austin Bundy of Freedom High in Virginia looks at photo, newspaper, and online.
At NCSMI, life in the different sectors of journalism isn't as easy as one would expect. Bird Wells says it's hard work, but fun too.
Everything surrounding websites, I guess. How to post articles and everything, and really how to jumpstart your website to make it really good for your program at school.
Using the knowledge he acquired in these classes, Wells plans to return to First Flight High School and put his skills to use. Students in advanced newspaper are learning new techniques to help them create an exciting product.
I guess my goals are just to make the news interesting so that people want to read it and aren't like, oh crap, I have to read the newspaper, but instead open their newspaper and have their awesome Starbucks hot chocolate and are really excited to be reading it.
Students learned about the ethics of journalism and how to capture a story and convey it to the public. Picture perfect is Deidre Logan's topmost goal. Classes in photojournalism focus on portraits of other students as well as shots from nature across the campus. Students also learn important skills editing their photos in the popular software program Adobe Photoshop.
My goals as a photojournalist is to get that perfect moment and just have everything line up perfectly and be perfect.
In the world of journalism, life isn't easy.
but it's enjoyable. Students learn that here at NCSMI and grow through everything the instructors throw at them. In Chapel Hill, I'm Austin Bundy, NCSMI News.
And the instructors do throw a lot at us. We just have to hope it's nothing pointed and sharp.
There's much more to journalism than straight news reporting. Students can write in more literary form, and it all has to look good on the page. Maggie Rhodes of Providence High in Charlotte looks at literary magazine and design.
Literary magazine and design are a couple of the most popular divisions at NCSMI, and though they're separate, there are a lot of similarities.
We're learning about typography and design right now. We're learning about how all the colors set off different moods and the typefaces and fonts.
Well, before, our school just used Word as our design thing, and so this is our first time actually using a real program for designing.
Some of those real programs include Photoshop, InDesign, and Illustrator. Sophomore Audrey Sturdal says it's been a great hands-on learning experience.
I didn't know anything about InDesign, and now I do know things about InDesign.
The content isn't the only similarity between these two divisions. Students in both classes agree. The knowledge of their instructors really stands out.
She's really nice, generous, willing to help.
They know a lot, and it's really cool hearing them talk about it.
Students from Design and Lit Mag are really enjoying the classes they choose and say the experiences are invaluable for their future.
And it's a cool town, and it's cool classes, and it's just great.
It's fun. It's different. It helps you expand.
Great information presented in an appealing way, that's what it's all about. In Chapel Hill, I'm Maggie Rhodes, NCSMI News.
On top of great info and appealing presentation, we now have to be aware of how audiences want to receive information. So we have to be up to speed on the latest technologies too. One group of UNC students is at the forefront of helping journalists reach that goal.
Robin O'Lunick of Chapel Hill High tells us an innovation lab in the journalism school is leading the way nationally when it comes to presenting journalism in new and exciting ways.
The Reese Lab works to create new and innovative ways to provide news for consumers. Sarah Peach is the Associate Director for the Reese Lab. She says the lab allows students to get real-world experience in a collaborative setting.
So we don't put out news stories or TV shows or anything like that. Instead, we have students who focus on coming up with ideas for new products.
Georgia Ditmore says having the freedom to work on one's own project makes a big difference in the lab's environment.
Yeah, it definitely helps. So there are a lot of times here in the lab where we're stuck. I don't know how we're going to figure this problem out. So we just, we go hang out in the corner. We're like, okay, just throw every idea you've got out there.
Crimes. John has to find funding to create, produce, and sell his product.
It's tough, and there's no guaranteed success either. You could work on this thing for 3 months, and potentially nothing could come from it.
So this day and age, the population that's growing up right now is always on mobile devices and always on laptops. And the age of the typical newspaper journalism is not necessarily on its way out, but it's transitioning.
The projects that come out of the Reese Lab are changing the face of journalism. From Chapel Hill, I'm Robin O'Lunick, NCSMI News.
Doing great journalism and designing new applications sounds like a super place to attend college, hint, hint.
Reese Lab isn't the only exciting thing about the J School. Matthew Pertz of Franklin Academy in Wake Forest says the school is about to go through some major changes.
To keep up with the ever-changing journalism field, UNC's J School will soon require all majors to take multimedia classes, making them more versatile in the workforce.
The world consumes information visually these days. Think of YouTube. Think of the amount of information that's going up on YouTube. People learn, I think, in many different ways. They learn from words and they learn from pictures. And we want all our students to be able to learn the language and the vocabulary of modern communications.
UNC alum Evan Badler believes the new emphasis will provide students with more opportunities.
Well, I don't think it's so much what the school can do rather than what the students want to do. Because we have a lot of resources here that generally go untapped.
Associate Dean Chris Roush plans to gradually institute the shifts in the school.
So we're looking to making changes in the curriculum next year, in 3 years, and in 5 years.
Select journalism majors will also be able to take classes within their field in the first semester of their freshman year. Students believe these changes will give them a leg up on their peers.
My first J School class wasn't until my sophomore year, end of my sophomore year. So I would have loved to be able to come in freshman year and take a class and realize earlier that that's what I would have loved to do.
As soon as the fall of 2016, students will be able to experience these changes right here in Carroll Hall. From Chapel Hill, I'm Matthew Pertz, NCSMI News.
So lots of new stuff. Just in time for those of us who are rising seniors to reap the benefits when we become Tar Heels.
Some of the classes we take might be in the summer. Jamie Snauer of West Johnston High in Benson says things are a bit different in the summer terms.
Summer at the University of North Carolina is a bit more relaxed compared to the hustle and bustle of the regular school year. For some students, 9 months isn't enough. Taking summer classes gives them the chance to spread out the workload, but it is intense.
So some of the differences between the school year and summer school, if you really look at it academically, is students are taking courses where they are taking all the content that they would learn in an academic semester of 15 weeks and condensing it into 5 weeks.
Everything's a lot more slower paced, which is nice when you want to use the Student Rec Center and there's very few people there. You want to go into a group exercise class and there only be 10 or 15 of your closest friends there.
The only negative aspect working during the summertime would probably be that it is slower. So it can get just be a little, a lot of downtime, but that's also a plus because it's not hectic and it's not stressful, so yeah, kind of goes both ways. Intense classes, but overall a slower pace, seems to be a pretty good trade-off for UNC students. I'm Jamie Snover, NCSMI News.
I think I'd prefer regular semester classes, but maybe.
Well, one of the advantages to being here in the summer is the crowds aren't quite so large on Franklin Street. Alexis Hillian of RB Glen High in Kernersville has that story.
Whether it's shopping or grabbing a bite to eat, there's a lot to do in Chapel Hill during the summer. Even though rush of business decreases during the summer season, many people still enjoy everything Chapel Hill's Franklin Street has to offer.
My favorite thing about working in the summer is seeing the people from out of town come in and they're all surprised about how cute our store is and all the cupcakes we have.
It's just the life that's here. So every time I come back to Chapel Hill, it's just like seeing the people. It's always a happy place.
Even though there's activity on Franklin Street during the summer, employees at various businesses say they do see changes.
We have less college students here. We have more young families coming for summer vacation, so gelato sales go up, but it's less busy in the summer.
The slower summer months give employees at businesses such as the Underground Printing a little more time to focus on different priorities.
It's a little bit more chill and gives us time to reorganize and regroup and reach out to new potential customers for custom printing and do more networking with the community.
Although the traffic slows down in the summer, the businesses on Franklin Street still thrive. That's partly because of summer campers like us. In Chapel Hill, I'm Alexis Hillian, NCSMI News.
So I'm sure the store owners really appreciate all the cash we've pumped into the Chapel Hill economy.
And we're not the only ones. There's football camp, basketball camp, tennis camp, and jazz camp. Here's Riley Butler of Mars Area High School near Pittsburgh.
UNC Jazz Workshop allows students playing a wide variety of instruments to enhance their knowledge and appreciation of jazz. Camp Director Stephen Anderson says the goal is simple.
Educate both through instruction in the classroom, through the students working together and playing together in the jam sessions and in the combos, just to raise the level of our knowledge, to make friends with different people from different places, and to play some great music.
85 jazz enthusiasts from across the country get the opportunity to work with different professors and perform in different groups for a variety of learning experiences.
I've loved jazz. I love playing my instrument, trumpet, and coming here was an opportunity to expand my repertoire.
The camp is for students with various levels of experience.
I'm completely new to jazz actually. I'm a classical flutist, so I had no idea about any chords or any improv, so it's really cool to learn all those things.
This camp teaches techniques and lets musicians enter the unique world of jazz.
Did you know that jazz enthusiasts were the first to use the word bad to mean good?
That's your Jazz Lingo lesson for the day. In Chapel Hill, I'm Riley Butler for NCSMI News.
See, you really can learn something new every day.
There's been a lot to do and a lot to see this week.
One of the things a lot of us have been interested in seeing is happening hundreds of miles away. Jarrett Spann of West Johnston High in Benson says football is the correct pronunciation.
Many NCSMI students have been tuning into the World Cup and have even been making their own predictions. Among those fans is a passionate soccer player, Dylan Owens, who has his own opinions about who will win the coveted trophy.
I think Argentina and Germany are going to be in the final. I think Germany will win it against Argentina.
Many restaurants are accommodating this increase in interest and are even naming themselves the headquarters of the World Cup. According to local restaurant server Rebecca Warner of the R&R Grill, it pays to meet the needs of fans.
Yeah, it's been really busy. It's a lot of excitement towards the games. Everyone wants to come in and eat and hang out.
Italian Pizzeria 3 has become a hub for World Cup crowds, hosting an estimated 200 American fans in the exciting 2-1 U.S. win over Ghana. Owner Vinny Marone takes pride in the sporting atmosphere of his restaurant and the large groups it attracts.
But it was so much fun. Yeah, I'm so glad finally USA beat Ghana. And it was amazing to see all these U.S. fans finally really appreciate soccer more.
For Marone, the World Cup represents the highlight of the camaraderie he seeks in his restaurant's atmosphere.
Like maybe you eat each other for 90 minutes, but then after that we all friend again and we all drink. We all gonna go out and have a beer together,
The beautiful game has brought out an American passion and appreciation for the purity of the sport like no World Cup before. In Chapel Hill, I'm Jarrett Spann in CSMI News.
Journalism camp, Franklin Street Fun, and the World Cup. Quite a week.
It has been, but it has to come to an end. Safe travels back home, and maybe we'll see some of you back here next year. As always,
Go Heels, Go America.